Okay, so today we're going to be talking about sentence fragments. So a sentence must contain a subject and a predicate. It also must make sense on its own. A sentence fragment is a part of a sentence that is written as though it were a sentence, but does not meet the three criteria for complete sentences. Some sentence fragments may appear to be an acceptable sentence, but are not. Sentence fragment errors could occur as a dependent clause, a verbal phrase, and a positive, or simply lacking sentence parts. Sentence fragments must be corrected to be made into full sentences. A dependent clause does not stand on its own. So remember in the last one we talked about run-on sentences and comma splices, we talked about dependent clauses and independent clauses. So a dependent clause does not stand on its own. Remember, it's dependent on the independent clause to make it a complete sentence. A single word may change an independent clause to a dependent clause. A dependent clause usually leaves you feeling up in the air, as though you were waiting for the rest of an idea or thought. These can be corrected by dropping a word to make an independent clause, combining two sentences together, adding a comma, or adding a predicate. So for example, as Anne went to the game is a dependent clause. It does not make sense on its own. So you can either drop the as and say Anne went to the game, it began to rain. You can combine the two sentences together, so you can say as Anne went to the game, comma, it began to rain. You can say, or add a predicate. As Anne went to the game, she brought her umbrella. It began to rain. Verbal phrase. A verbal phrase begins with words such as to jump, to sleep, jumping, sleeping, jump, and slept. This phrase cannot be made into a sentence just by dropping a word or two. I have a goal for this month, to score well in the ACT. To score well in the ACT cannot stand by itself. And a positive is a group of nouns or words that describe a noun that are not sentences. For example, I'll go shopping anywhere if there's a good sale. Malls, department stores, grocery stores, convenience stores. That is not a sentence with the underlined section. You can add it into the sentence before it to make it a sentence. A sentence fragment could also just be lacking sentence parts. Remember, at first glance, a fragment may appear to be a sentence. So, for example, the underlined part, a bus that traveled to the beach, it may appear to be a sentence, but it is not a full sentence. Okay, so pause this video, click on this video link, find it on YouTube, Send Fragments by Shmoop, and they will review over sentence fragments just like we did. Okay, so next part you have is your assignment. Your assignment for this part is, on the first part, you're going to correct sentence fragments. And the next part is an ACT-like activity.